you want to kind of keep your math the same. So what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to do a little reverse math. So you're gonna have to divide that 3,000 square foot, 3 foot, or you want to divide the 2430 into the 3,000 square foot. Your profit margin is still going to be the exact same, but what you're going to do is once you divide that, which that's going to come down to 81 cents per square foot. So how you're going to do that for the 81 cent per square foot is now it's going to times that by the 4,500 square foot of the new building. So you're really charging them the same thing, but you're changing your math based on the square footage now instead of just the month. So now if you did the math to the square footage, you came up to that proposal and say, hey, I'm going to charge you 36.45, I believe. So at 36.45, that's what's going to be the contract for this building across the street. The profit margin for you is going to be the exact same 20%, but you just charge them more for the square footage. So that's kind of how you would break that down if you want to charge them down into the square footage. And it's the exact same thing if we had a contract and you want to charge them by the month and you want to break that month down to the mile. You want to know how many miles you're going to be driving in that month. That way you can divide that to know exactly how much you're going to be charging them per mile. Now, so much mile for the end of being so competitive. Yeah, but that's business, man. Business is math. And I don't care what business you're in. It's gonna come down to math. Math is gonna be the key to business. So technically we know it as managerial accounting, but I was the type of kid that I was selling candy in elementary. I always been entrepreneur minded, and I knew that if I went to this back in the day when Dollar General had the 3 pieces of candy for $1, you can get a Snicker, a honey bun, or Babe Ruth or whatever, 3 for $1. I knew, okay, if I get them 3 for $1 when I go to school, I can sell them for $1 a piece. I know I'm gonna be making 66 cents for each candy bar. So we've been doing this already. That's if you were that kind of person who's been the type of person that make something shake and bake. But if you've been the kind of person that's been entrepreneur mind, you already know math off the top of your head. And if you're a street person, you definitely know your math. You should know this. We just taking a professional now. So it's the exact same thing. You need to know the cost breakdown for every single thing. And if there's something that's wrong, the math should already tell you where it's wrong at, because what, math don't lie. Math is going to be right every time. So you need to know your math.